G'day and welcome back to Down the Shed with Byron. Now this Friday, I'm getting stuck into the VT Commodore, and let's make a bit of a shopping list of what we need to do to take it over the pits. Now before taking any vehicle over the pits, you need to give it a good clean. And lucky, it's raining. But the other week we did give it a good wash, but prior to taking any vehicle down, give it a good clean out, because when the mechanic jumps into the car, they're just gonna go, this is looked after. This is rather neat and tidy. And it's the first appearance that they get. So when they look at a car, they're going to be like, depending on what day it is too, they're going to look at it and go, oh, I'm wasting my time. Or they'll get in and go, this has actually been looked after or maintained. So the only things I can really see on the inside here that we need to sort out is the roof lining here, how it's come down. So that'll be one mission where we'd have to pull the trim out, drop this roof lining down and put a new bit of foam, felt there. So we'll add that to the list, roof lining. Steering wheel is another thing they look at. Now, sometimes the rubber moves in the top here, and depending on how bad it is, they'll pick you for that as well. So on the inside of this car, it's looking rather tidy. And another stupid thing is, I don't know why, if you don't have a stereo in that hole, doesn't have to be working, but if you don't have a stereo there, they can knock you back for that. I don't know why, but that's an interesting fact. The next part's going to be seat belts. So we'll just pull the seat belt out, clip it in, make sure it's nice and secure, check for frays, make sure that's in good condition. Probably needs a clean actually. Oh, hold on, it probably does need a clean. So that's probably something we need to do. So run that in and out a few times, and the idea is it should self-retract. Come on, within reason. So I think with a clean of those seat belts, we should be right. Another thing we need to check, make sure the seats are secure. That's all good. Handbrakes, a few clicks, bits and pieces like that. So we'll go through the inside. Oh, we might need to lube that one up. And I'll check all these seat belts out. All right, well, most of those seat belts checked. Another thing they like to make sure is that doors open from inside and out. I think it's more of an emergency thing, is if you have an accident, to be able to get in and out of the car. But otherwise, for this VT, I think that's about it. So we've got clean up the seat belts, make sure they retract better, the steering wheel rubber. I think you can use a needle with some glue in it, but I'll look into that one, and we need to sort out the roof lining. All right, let's have a little bit of a walk around the VT and spot some things that we might need to sort out. Now down the passenger side, it's pretty straight. Yes, the paint's faded, the clear coat's come off in different spots. We've got mud flaps. That's another thing, especially four-wheel drivers, you get picked on for. I'll show you some information about tyres after. Coming around the back here, we've got a broken tail light, so we're going to replace tail light, boot garnish, and another tail light. So then our next thing will be to make sure all the lights work. Another factor is window tint. So we can see, oh, hello. These are clear, factory clear. So if they're too dark, there's a certain percentage they get upset as well. Doors shut. Around the front now, it's looking pretty tidy. Wiper blades, we'll make sure they work. Headlights, now you guys will let me know in the comments, like you did the first time, that these need a decent cut and polish and a defog, and we'll be able to bring them back up nice and clear. So in general, it looks like a rather tidy-ish car. Let's have a look at the tyres now. They are looking okay, but they're not. So if you go down to the wear limits here, so these little marks inside there are your wear limits of minimum tread depth. Now sometimes on the side of your tyre you'll have a little triangle here, and that'll indicate where those indicators are. So yes, they've got plenty of tread, but they're out of date, and I'll show you how you can identify the date. And here I am trying to show you on these tyres. I've just done a walk around on them. I have a feeling the date's on the other side of the tyre, but I'll just show you, for example, I pulled the spare tyre out of the boot. And here we go. So if we have a look here, we have got 02, so it's week 02 of 2001. That's how you can tell what date your tyre has got on it. And these are well and truly out of date. We'll pull those wheels off a little bit later and have a look at the brakes and that. But now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn all the lights on and we'll just have a look and see what we need to sort out. Oh, there's another thing I'm going to sort out, key. So we have to add key to the list. And it's only those little buttons, but again, you think of that mechanic that grabs it and goes to press it and he's like, what the hell is this thing? So we'll go Parker's first, and I might just put the hazard lights on initially as well. We've got lights on the dash working. I'll have to come back and make sure that dim's working. We've got a nice orange amber indicator there. Indicator there. Parker light works. Parker light works. Indicator works. Indicator works. Nice. All right, let's have a look at the tail lights. So again, just pretend this is a good tail light and that is not an amber indicator. That's one thing we need to sort out. So we need to put like a nice orange globe into that. The Parker's working in the tail light. We've got number plate lights. They're working. Can't remember if there is clearance lights in the boot here, or is that VX? All right, so we've got number plate lights. Again, another indicator one to sort out. That tail light's working. Low beams working. And high beams working. Okay. All right, add to the list. We've got those tail lights, so remember those indicators to replace. I'll also make sure the indicators work with the indicator stalk. So we turn that to on. That one seems to be working. We'll jump out and have a look at it shortly. Yep, horn works. Sounds a bit sick. All right, let's go for the wipers. I can hear the motor working for the jets. Could be low on water, but the wipers work. Let's try all the speeds. Yep, we've got that working now. Another thing we need to sort out is make sure the demister works on the windscreen. So that little symbol there normally indicates windscreen. Go low, number 1, 2, 3, high. Nice. Whoa, doesn't smell too good. All right, so we'll add to the list some new wiper blades. We'll top up that wiper water, washer water. What's the next checks? If I've forgotten anything, we'll throw it in there as well. But I think that's pretty much a general, making sure any electrics work, like your power mirrors, making sure they work. What's the next thing? So we've got a few bits and pieces to add to the list. Under the bonnet now, let's have a look. Now I did give this a bit of a quick detail last time, but we'll go back over it again. And you may remember when I was trying to fill up the cooling system the other week, it was coming out like red, and we've got a transmission fault. So I have a feeling that the transmission cooler that's inside the radiator has failed. So I'm going to try, we're going to add that to the list, pull that radiator out and see what we can do there. Making sure your battery's secure. Now this hasn't got the traditional battery clamp down the bottom, it's got one that goes up and into here, and I don't have it in there at the moment, so we've got a loose battery, so you've got to make sure that's secure. And then just a general look over the engine, making sure you got no oil leaks, nothing hanging out of place. And see, we've got a strut top washer in the wrong spot, but we'll sort that out. So we'll add that to the list just in case they pick that up. So we've got battery needs to be secured, another degrease to the engine, which I'm going to go back over that and service it all anyway. We'll put some new oil, filter, spark plugs, fuel filter. We'll pull that air filter out, it'll be interesting to see that. But otherwise, a general clean of the engine, making sure that's tidy. And the next thing we'll do is we'll jack it up, just to have a general look underneath and check out the brakes, because that's another thing. And they check bushes and bits and pieces. So let's have a look and see if we can add any more to the shopping list. Well, how things change after you jack up a vehicle. Let's add to the shopping list. Okay, we've got a front strut, protective boot, split. We've got power steering rack, boot, split, possibly a weep or a leak there. We'll jump under and have a look in a minute. The brakes, now they're not low, but they're low. So really at the end of the day, once you take this for a drive, we'll be all right. And maybe a pad slap. The front Z-bar bush, that looks relatively new. The other side looks brand new, so they've probably not recently been done. Lower control arm looks like it's all been done. So with a good clean, this should look all right. Sway bar link looks okay. Let's jump underneath and have a look for oil leaks. Straight under the front here, we've got a small weep coming from a power steering line. Again, with a tighten up and a clean, that'll be fine. Around the front of the sump, looks okay. Around the back of the sump, we've got a bit of wetness. Again, that could be a couple of rocker cover gaskets. Again, it's only a weep, like as in, could be nothing. Once we give it a clean, we'd have to road test it a few times. That boot, should be able to order something like that. But otherwise, what do you reckon, guys? That's relatively clean under here, within reason. Around the back of the engine now, so let's have a look up in here. So it's a bit of sweating horsepower. Power steering rack doesn't look too bad. Do you reckon that's power steering fluid or engine oil? Again, with a clean, who knows what it could be. Now let's go down to the drive shaft and we'll have a look at that center bearing. All right, you're on your back with me now. Let's have a look at the back of the transmission there. Again, once that's cleaned up, it'd be interesting to see if there is a leak from there. Just check those uni joints. They feel solid. Let's go down and check the center bearing. That's bloody beautiful. Let's go down and have a look at the back end. Everything's looking okay under here. We haven't got any massive fluid leak from the rear shocks. The brakes, the pads look healthy. The rotors just need a good drive and they'll be all right. The diff looks relatively tidy and no leaks. Most smallest exhaust leak there. That's nothing to worry about. Sway bar links, they're going to pick on us for that. And we've got those lower control arm bushes up in there. Again, they're normally something that doesn't really chop out in these. Sway bar link up there. Bump stops all in place. Fuel tank secure. Any exhaust leaks, I wonder? Yeah. With our shopping list of bits and pieces we need to do, some of these jobs are freebie tasks that we can do, e.g. cleaning it, topping up water. I've got a spare radiator down in the yard there out of my mate James's Statesman. I've got 4 brand new tyres from 2023 that came off the AU Falcon. If you didn't see that video when we went out to DJ's, I'll put it up here. But that was an absolute ball. But I was like, whoa, boys, we've got to save those tyres. I got a project for them. We've got to go get some tail lights, a boot garnish, so I'll jump on the old marketplace and see what I can find. So if we go through the list and chip away, there's a lot of DIY videos there that might help some people out. So what do you reckon? Would you go to the effort of fixing this car up to get it back on the road? Let me know. There is one more thing that I've left right till the end, which will be the crunch point for me if what we're going to do with it, which is that rust spot on the roof on the passenger side. Now, it is possible to be repaired, but as soon as, like I've worked out on my VR Calais lately, as soon as you wire brush it or something, that hole goes from a little hole to a next minute big hole. But anyway, I'm hoping we can sort out that as well. But for now, I'll put some wheels back on it, park it up, and we'll get stuck into the next project while I source some parts for this. All right, dirty thumbs up. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Take it easy and see you when I'm looking at you.